What's up guys, Corey has no life here and welcome to episode 2 of season 2 of the Formula 1 2019 Noob career mode. Now I must put in some apologies here straight away. A lot of the footage from this episode has been lost, so we've lost a vast majority of the early qualifying stuff and all the pre-practice stuff, and we've also lost one adaptation of the entire race. I was struggling with the game crashing on me quite constantly here. So we're going to be able to pick this back up from qualifying. But yeah, we're a little bit behind the 8 ball as far as the footage goes for this video.
Bahrain qualifying is nearly upon us and the drivers look as if they're all geared up to go. I expect we'll be getting underway very shortly. When it comes to getting lap time out of this circuit, it's traditionally been about maximising top speed. Do you simply remove as much downforce as possible, hang on into the corners and max out down the straights?
The teams will have arrived with all manner of parts designed to capitalise on the long straights. The cars will be that much harder to drive in the corners, but everyone will be in the same boat.
So we're going to get straight on with qualifying here. Now, as I said, we lost the original recording of the race. It was an epic battle between myself and Vettel for the entire race. But as I was going through the replay cameras at the end of it all, yeah, the game crashed, and when I loaded it back up, it didn't save after the end of the race, and everything was just kind of all stuffed up. So I had to redo the race later on. But anyway, that's the story for later on in the race. Right now, we're here for qualifying, and as you can see, we are coming up behind one of the Williams here as we head towards the middle sector of the lap. One of the hardest sectors in this lap, well, just one of the hardest sections right there just before the DRS zone. I've always struggled with that sector no matter what car I've been in, no matter what game I've been in. That little section of Bahrain is just utterly impossible for me, at least. Now we can see Lewis Hamilton goes provisional pole with a 1:29.7. Not bad considering he's driving for Haas this season. As we head up towards the final corner to finish off our first qualifying session here. We get to the DRS zone, hit it perfectly, we cross the line, and it's good enough for provisional pole at a 1:29.2. We'll skip forward to the end of qualifying here, and it's only good enough for P5. Lucas Weber goes provisional pole. Valtteri Bottas goes P2. Myself 5th, and Lewis Hamilton P7 there. We scroll down further, we see our old teammate George Russell managing to get out of qualifying 1 with 14th. And Devin Butler again continues his streak of not making it out of qualifying 1. Now we're on to quali 2 here, and we have previously set a banker lap. And this is the lap that we are going to go with here, the second lap in this practice session. As you can see, we're right out there at the death of qualifying again to try and gain the best advantage that we possibly can. We actually set that first lap on the medium tyre because I wanted to try and qualify through on the mediums. And by the time everyone finished their lap and crossed the line, it was too late for me to realise, and we ended up crossing the line with a faster time here on the soft tyres. And we were a little bit slow on the DRS there, which didn't really hinder us all that much. We're still 5 tenths up on our previous lap. Max Verstappen goes provisional P1 at the moment. Lucas Weber is currently P7. So we'll definitely be probably disbanding him from that position at the moment. We'll just have to wait to see how we go when we cross the line. it's at this point that I should have realised everyone had finished their laps and I was safely through on the mediums, but yeah, I wasn't paying any attention to the mini-map there, and we qualified P5 on the soft tyres. So as you can see, Lewis Hamilton goes provisional pole, Valtteri Bottas getting third, myself in fifth, with Lucas Weber in P6. Looks like our old teammate George Russell out in 11th. So now we move on to quali 3 here, and this was the better of the 2 laps for me. And as you can see, it's really early on in the session. Rounded the final corner now, we'll come up to the line, and it's going to be a 1:28.9 to provisionally put us onto pole. And we went to go make another run of it later on, as you can see here. I didn't edit this down a little because I just thought I wanted to show you guys all the nitty gritty of this second lap that I was trying to accomplish. We got out there with a small amount of time left on the clock. As you see, the start of the lap is not too bad at all. In fact, we are a little bit up on our previous time. We go purple to the first sector. We're almost 2 tenths, we're just over 2 tenths up on our previous time. We lose a lot of time there though, at that tight hairpin. We move into the hard part of the lap now. Still doing quite nicely. So we go 2.5 tenths up. And we make a mistake here. We climb the curb, we lose a lot of time, and then we touch the ripple strip on the inside and it sent us for a spin. We gas it up to try and stay off the wall, and that put an end to our qualifying 3 attempt there.
We'll receive you at the end of this lap.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but
As we
before
see
we
the
begin,
results now,
let's have a quick look at
and
those who
I've
will be
qualified
fronting the
on
grid.
pole.
Mercedes, Vettel and Valtteri Bottas. With qualifying complete, all that
And as you
remains
see,
is
our
the main
teammate
event.
Valtteri
We'll be
Bottas
live and
down in
uninterrupted for the
third
Grand
there.
Prix tomorrow, so make
Scroll
sure
down
you
just a little
join
bit
us
further,
there.
we see Lucas Weber in 5th, Lewis Hamilton managing to get 7th in this one. So he's quite a fair bit away from his teammate Vettel there. As you can see, we're still absolutely dominating both rivalries though, taking the maximum amount of points here. Now dive a little bit further into the story of the first race that we did. As I said, it was absolutely spirited battle between myself and Vettel, being as though we started off the front row, and it was a full race long battle.
We should be in with a good chance in the race.
And I had so many highlights to show you guys. It was going to be so wicked. And then, yeah, the game crashed on me while I was going through the replay cameras, and I lost all that footage because I had to restart the race. Because when I loaded back in, this was what I was greeted with.
There's something in the Bahrain air tonight, and I'm not just talking about the sand. Our brightest minds have thrust their brightest ideas into the spotlight of the Sakhir circuit this evening as we look ahead once more to a Grand Prix that has thrilled us so consistently in the past. Joining me for today's race once again is Anthony Davidson. Why don't we discuss McLaren? We have a number of changes to the aerodynamic regulations this year, and the signs haven't looked good for them so far in terms of getting to grips with those changes.
There are a few downcast looks within the team this weekend. I think they've been hit fairly hard by the new regs. But this is only the first step down a long road of development, and even if they don't maximise their points today, there are plenty more up for grabs this season.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. It's Mercedes in pole position then, and starting alongside in P2 is Sebastian Vettel. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Verstappen, Lucas Faber and Leclerc, Hamilton, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi and Pierre Gasly, Russell, Sainz, Sergio Perez and Magnussen, Norris, Stroll, Devon Butler and Daniel Ricciardo. Albon and Nico Hülkenberg completes the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
So now it's time for us to have a quick little look at the strategy. There's not much that we can do with it, but we're just going to have a quick little squiz at it to see what it's going to be like. We play around with maybe coming in a lap earlier, but we choose against it at the moment as it's time to hit the grid. We go to 5 red lights and we're away and racing for the Bahrain Grand Prix round 2 of season 2. See Vettel up there on our inside. In the previous version of this race, he was all the way up there. He got a much better launch. But let's not worry about that because this is the truth for this season right now. As you see, we're holding on to a slender lead right now over Vettel, but he lost a lot of time coming out of that hairpin for turn 4. So it's all about just trying to mitigate the gap and extend it a little bit to these guys behind. And as you can see, this proximity arrow actually fell off the screen there as we were able to pull away from him quite a bit. Even along this alternate pit straight, we just pulled away from him. Which was actually kind of sad for me because I was hoping to show you guys this epic battle that me and Vettel had, but it just seems that in this version of the race he could not keep up with me whatsoever, especially when I make a wide run at the exit just like that. And you can even see on the mini-map there is quite a bit of a gap starting to form between myself and Vettel. As we come out of the final corner to end the first lap, we have a quick little squiz back and we can see, can't even see Vettel's nameplate there. As we head into the pits now for our pit stop. Looks like we've got Verstappen coming into the pits at the same time as us. We get held in the pits for Verstappen, which lost us about a second there. And that really does suck. You see Gasly is going past us along the track there. George Russell's just gone past us as well, our old teammate.
Receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
Come out of the pits just behind Lance Stroll in the Renault. We'll skip forward now to the end of lap 7. We've got our former teammate and Lance Stroll both in front of us. We stay to the left just in case they're going to pit. They both don't. We open up DRS, go rich fuel mixture. We get around Lance Stroll very quickly. Just very briefly pop into George's slipstream and we get the move done on him into turn 1 as well. Now we do the Queen's wave out the side of the car to say goodbye, ladies. But George Russell, thanks to our awesome upgrading skills there in Season 1, has the engine to keep up with us on these straightaways. As we see a green flag, we got a virtual safety car. We're having a quick little look through. We can see Bottas, we can see Verstappen, and it's an engine gone for Verstappen. Oh, that is not good at all for the Red Bull driver. We skip ahead now to the end of lap 13. We can see there's some yellow flags again, and Lucas Weber is now out of the race. We have a look at his replay, and his engine spontaneously combusted as well. So that's not good for our former F2 teammate either.
This is your final lap.
Now we head
of the
on
race.
to the final lap. And from here it's all academic. You can see myself in first, Bottas in second, and Leclerc in third. We understeer quite heavily into the first corner there, just missing our braking marker ever so slightly. But we have such a big gap over Bottas that it doesn't even really matter, as Vettel now takes the third position away from Leclerc. The former teammates now, with Vettel being over at Haas. But I always thought it was very strange that Vettel went to Haas, because basically he's gone for the junior team. There's two junior teams of Ferrari, and that's Haas and Alfa Romeo. And he's decided to go for the middle team, which is Haas. We'll take another quick look through all of our in-race menus there to see how the car is traveling. It looks like everything's looking pretty alright. We come around the long sweeping right-hander into the final sector. We've just got one corner to negotiate. 6.1 second gap. And it's the win for us in Bahrain.
Great job. You've done everything we wanted today.
So Mercedes have won it, and what a great race it was. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today.
So as you see, it's myself and Bottas, and it looks like Leclerc was able to hold on to that third position now over his old teammate of Sebastian Vettel. Go on to have a look at the results here now.
Another solid result for our championship leader today, allowing them to extend the gap between themselves and the rest of the standings. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
It's got to be Lando Norris, hasn't it? Smooth, confident and assured. I've got no doubt that he and his team are going to be over the moon with his performance today.
Let's move
scroll
on to
down
the
and see Lewis
constructors.
Hamilton made his way to
Mercedes moved
fourth.
to the top of the table. There was
And
also a
something must
strong
have happened to
showing from
Vettel
the
there in that
McLaren
last
team
lap. He
today,
dropped all the way
as
down
they
to
make their way up the
P6.
standings.
George Russell, our former
I'm equal
teammate,
parts
up in
exhausted and
13th.
elated with this weekend of Formula
We'll
One.
scroll down
Be sure
even
to join
further
us
here.
for the next one.
We see Devon Butler made his way to 15th there in the race, gaining 2 positions. But of course there was 2 DNFs, one of which being our former F2 teammate Lucas Weber, and the other one being Verstappen. So we're going to have a quick little look at the standings now, and we have got pretty much as much points as you can have, -1. We look at the constructors as well. Mercedes has taken the lead in the constructors. But now it's time for our interview with Claire.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts. You really looked in control of your car out there. Your team must be thrilled. That was an epic battle today. How do you think this will play out? You left a lot of paint on the walls today. Were you struggling for grip, or did you just misjudge some corners? Great.
The
Well,
funny
that's
thing
everything.
about that question is I don't remember hitting a single wall at all the entire race. As we see the rivalry updates now, and again, we are just absolutely dominating both of our rivals. And it's going to be hard for either of them to come back at us, especially Lewis Hamilton, who we're driving his old car effectively. We see our resource point update now, and we're going to get a big bonus here for making the team bonus, which puts us up to 1,275 altogether. We're going to have a quick little look at the team reputation update as well, and the only team that we need to prove ourselves to is our former team, Williams, who are bitterly disappointed at us for
Just wanted to say
swapping
congrats on the
teams on them.
podium. It's thoroughly deserved. We were sweating those last few laps on the pit wall, but you brought it home.
So I'm going to go and have a quick little look at the R&D chart now to see what we can do to the development of the car to just see what we can do to go faster. We'll see if we can redo that one chassis upgrade that we lost from the previous upgrade. See, we also lost the other chassis upgrade, which we adapted earlier as well. We've got an ultimate upgrade right there, which is very, very tempting, but I think I might want to go for those other minor upgrades that are around it first. As we have a look now over at the power side of things, and we're going to go for the fuel flow regulator upgrade, which we didn't get to do at the end of the last episode due to waiting for the previous upgrade to be done. As you can see, there's a couple of major and ultimate upgrades just on the horizon there for the engine side of things as well. But guys, that's going to wrap up this episode. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. I'm going to leave you with the highlights package again. And until the next episode, I'll see you guys next time.